any token, any chain, just you can, with one click, you can pay that bill.
One day, we're going to be able to pay our bills with cryptocurrency. And that day is actually today, because you can do that with Spritz Finance. You can actually send your cryptocurrency from multiple blockchains, multiple coins, and you can use that to withdraw directly to your bank account, someone else's bank account, or pay your bills. Now, as of the making of this video, it's only available for US residents, but it's going to open up to more markets and more countries very soon. So if you want to learn more about how Spritz Finance is making it easier for people to use crypto in their daily lives, I highly suggest sticking around for this entire video. Thanks to Spritz Finance for sponsoring this video. If you want to use their service so you can cash out your crypto very easily, there are links in the description.
I'm Chris, the founder of Spritz Finance.
I just remembered something, and I have some constructive criticism, if that's all right, about Spritz. You know,
to me.
I'm already signed up. I'm on board, but I'm getting a lot of emails. December 16, I got 5 emails, and I'm getting like 2 emails a day. Now, I want to support the service, but it's a lot. Like, I think it's going to turn off a lot of customers if it's like that much.
Yeah, no, totally. That's not our, and you can keep all this in, you know, we always, in fact, we want criticism. We want feedback. There's like, can we get your feedback in the app, in the Discord? We're looking for feedback. We're chatting with customers. We have a canny where you can suggest, features, and we've got a tight team, right? We're less than 10 people. So it's really me, my founding team, my head of engineering. We're responding to tickets. So it can take longer than 5 minutes, but when you've got us, we're there, ready to take you through it. So actually, on the email side, it's definitely not our intention to send out, 2 emails a day or even an email every other day. Sometimes we just have some glitches in the systems. We're really excited because we're pumping out features all the time, and then having these promotions, which get people really jazzed up about paying bills. So apologies for the 5 emails. We're fixing that. That was a problem with our last thing. So thanks for sharing.
No worries. I understand this as, a startup with that there might not be full oversight on what's going on the marketing side. And maybe it's just like, all right, multiple people sending out emails and they don't know who else is doing something. Yeah,
we switch campaigns, but you forget to turn off the old one, and then you've got 2 coming out or whatever. So it does happen. So sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. So could you tell us about the adventure of Spritz, how it got started and how you got to this point?
Yeah, totally. I mean, winding back as to my sort of personality and what kind of gets me up in the morning, I definitely describe myself as a finance nerd. When I was 11 years old, I had an insurance company as a kid. I had a credit card company. I had a lottery business with my, sort of poor, unsuspecting friends and family at that age. So I've always sort of thought about how can we, kind of create these kind of fun games that also are, profitable, but also kind of help people and attract people at the same time. And fast forward, I went to MIT for computer science and finance, joined the sort of rat race a little bit, I guess, in New York in the hedge fund world, and ultimately kind of quit it cold turkey in 2014 when I started basically a climate insurance business, which was called World Cover. We operate in Africa, all over the place. Fast forward through COVID, and I'd always been, since even 2012, I think, and earlier, trading tiny bits of Bitcoin, here and there, Ethereum. I had a Coinbase account from kind of the early days, and then ultimately kind of had my head in the sand a little bit with my former company, and sort of came out of the sand in 2018, 2019, and said, whoa, there's way more than Bitcoin here. There's actual, smart contracts, and we can actually execute code that moves not just data, but money. And that, to me, this kind of envisioning this future of programmable money was just, thrilling. We can talk about my former co-founder at that company actually became a kind of a Bitcoin and Ethereum trader himself. And then when I sort of wrapped up that former company and thought about doing something new, I said, hey, it's got to be something in DeFi. It's got to be something to do with finance for everyday people. I don't know what yet. So anyway, ... Fast forward, we started Spritz in end of 2021, and it's been quite a journey since.
Very cool. So could you tell us about Spritz?
Our vision for Spritz is for it to be almost like a Revolut for Web3 users. Revolut, if anybody doesn't know, is kind of this fintech app that international folks especially can use to remit and move money from country to country. It works really well if you're in markets with financial systems that make it hard to move money in and out. Spritz wants to be the company or the tool that if you're a Web3 user and you want to do anything financially in the real world, then Spritz is for you. And so we started Spritz as actually just a bill pay application. And we said, well, you might be happy trading on Solana, investing in NFTs, on ETH mainnet or somewhere, or Polygon or wherever. But when it comes time on Monday, Tuesday, during the week, couple times a month, you've got to make sure the mortgage is paid. Maybe you've got student loans, car loan, credit cards, and there's really no way to bridge your real life between the blockchain and kind of the traditional financial markets. And so Spritz is supposed to be the answer to that. And yeah, I think we're very early on that journey. We've released a few features as we'll talk about, but lots more to do.
Yeah, besides the average user, I see a lot of utility for this for crypto projects where maybe it's a DAO and they have to fund something. They can't use a centralized exchange to take money out, convert it to fiat, and then pay off a vendor. So there is a lot of utility in that sense.
Yeah, I totally agree, Dan. I mean, we have a whole host of, personas or, types of people that are using Spritz, from sort of the OG days of crypto. You do still have a lot of people that are holding a big, let's say, bag of various, crypto, not just Bitcoin, but, whatever, Shiba or Doge, or maybe they're early in Flow or something like that. And they've got all these tokens. And now with obviously the crypto winter, they said, well, it's no longer about just hodling these things and, hoping they're going to, 20x in the next, 2 or 3 months. Mm-hmm. But it's still valuable. How do I get that value? And I'd rather not just like sell it, incur all the fees, try to figure out how to move it to my, to my bank account, figure out my taxes, right? And then how does that relate to if I've got a salary or not? So we say, let's just, shortcut it, right? If you've got any token, any chain, you can, with one click, you can pay that bill. So we've got people that have that kind of assets already on chain. And now more and more recently, I'm sure a lot of your community and yourself, perhaps, right? People earning on chain either through passive income or, doing freelancing and contributing to DAOs and getting paid in stable coins or in project tokens. More and more people are actually, living their financial lives on chain. And so we're also supporting those people to kind of close the loop with their, again, pay the mortgage, pay the car, but still live your financial life on chain.
Just because the traditional methods are more exhausting, like you would have to, if you are a DeFi user, typically you would have to go to a centralized exchange that supports your bank. And a lot of centralized exchanges don't support all the assets and all the different blockchains. So you are going to have to bridge things over. You might have to use some shadier exchanges with poor liquidity where you get that higher spread. So with Spritz, it is a one-stop shop where you can just exit out of multiple chains, multiple coins, and get that into fiat, pay your bills, or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, that's totally right. And we're starting to now support, for example, there's going to be a partnership coming out. This is kind of unannounced also with Spritz Finance on Avalanche. So, they've got a liquid staking protocol, Staked Avalanche, where you're earning yield by staking your AVAX tokens. Mm-hmm. But now we're going to be able to provide direct liquidity for those staked AVAX tokens. So you can have your money sitting in a yielding asset up until literally the second that your bill is due. And then we can automate that process also, right? So we're going now beyond, yes, we have people paying with Bitcoin, with wrapped Ethereum, with Matic, but now you can actually have a yielding asset that you're actually just off-ramping and paying your bills with.
Oh, wow. Can we expect more, like other staked assets as well in the future?
Yeah, we're, any sort of staked assets, stable coins, and also kind of yield-bearing stable coins. Mm-hmm. And eventually the dream is to even support sort of the LP tokens directly, right? So, instead of having to go through those 3 or 4 transactions to unstake, remove liquidity.
Pay a lot of gas.
Yeah, a lot of gas. And, you have to time it. You could make a mistake. So instead, just keep it in that yield pool or whatever you're happy with, right? Some people are just kind of on Aave or something earning a small yield. Other people are kind of YOLOing into crazy stuff. Either way, right? We'll take it. We'll give you fair value. And then one click, you can kind of make a payment to your Amazon credit card.
Wow. So are there any potential partnerships on the horizon with Spritz and Aave, for example, or something similar?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I mentioned, Benchy, right, which in some ways is a lending protocol on Avalanche. So we're now launched on Avalanche, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and ETH mainnet. So we're working on a few more. So we are looking for, for anybody out there who's even working for one of these ecosystem projects, right? We are pursuing a number of partnerships and looking to, just give people kind of more options and more utility to use their crypto whenever they want to, right? So and we're all about connectivity. We're not asking you to deposit something in Spritz to trust us with your money. It's just, hey, connect your wallet when you need to do something, and we'll let you do it, and we'll make it simple and transparent in the meantime.
Very cool. So we also talked about Revolut and the potential of a debit card coming out from Spritz. Could we discuss that a little more?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I mentioned back when you were providing some feedback and for us, right? So we definitely track what people are looking for. We started by releasing and launching with the bill pay service, as I mentioned. Just about a month ago, we launched our off-ramp. So it's a direct off-ramp from your MetaMask, from your Coinbase wallet, again, any asset, eventually any chain, for now, 6 chains. We're just launching, instead of off-ramp to yourself, make a bank payment to a third party. So now you could pay your landlord, you could pay an invoice, you could make a transfer to your family, right? And now kind of the final piece of the puzzle, which is one of the top most requested features, is the debit card backed directly by the assets that are on your self-custody wallets. And so we've been working really hard on the debit card. It's not ready for release quite yet, but Q1 is when it's coming out. And it's going to have that same philosophy as the rest of our products do, where it's kind of just in time. It's taking your self-custody wallet and then wrapping it with real-world functionality, being able to generate a credit card number that you can then use on Amazon. And the best part is, for your international audience, this will be available for many international jurisdictions. Although we don't have an official list yet, but this is a way where up until now we've been for U.S. residents. This is a way for us to open up to other folks.
I see a lot of very cool developments. What do you think Spritz will look like 3 years from now?
3 years, I talk about, from a functionality perspective and this kind of Revolut vision, right? Today, Spritz is sort of a very fancy off-ramp is how you can kind of simplify us, right? Off-ramp, pay your bills, like take your crypto and then do something with it. But we want to close that loop, right? Because there's a lot of people who in the meantime are either dollar cost averaging into a position, or they're earning on chain, or they're just making transfers here and there. So can you imagine having a direct deposit address that you can still give to your kind of legacy payroll provider and say, hey, $500 a month, I want to land maybe even into this LP pool, at SushiSwap or at Uniswap, right?
Yeah.
And Spritz can automate that for you. And then when it's time, when we notice that a bill needs to get paid, we can do the off-ramp. So we can kind of close the loop of your whole financial life and allow you to take advantage of all the great aspects of crypto without all the, crappy aspects of dealing with real world banks. So that's the app for all of your users. And eventually there's going to be also an SDK and a way for developers to help us build out some of this functionality. And so when you're launching a new DEX or a new game or a metaverse or something, you can integrate Spritz, into that game such that people who are earning the game token can then, if they wish, actually cash out directly to, top up their mobile money minutes, pay their utility bill, or whatever as well. So it's continuing that app vision and then making sure the infrastructure is really, allows us to kind of expand very rapidly from there.
Wow. I'm actually very excited about this because maybe on the surface, someone might just see it as a bill pay service, but having that real world utility, that convenience, that's how mass adoption happens. That's how people start using cryptocurrency daily for whatever they need. And it makes it easier for people to get involved.
Yeah, totally agree. A lot of people are like, well, in the bull market, people are like, do people really want to sell their crypto? And yeah, maybe, people want to hold on as well. But, what was keeping a lot of people on the sidelines, even during the bull market, is like, okay, I can put some money into crypto. I can put another $1,000 on Coinbase or something. But then is there an off ramp? Like, if you only have on ramps and you have no off ramps, then, people are a little bit, they're holding back. There's extra cash that they're, hopefully that they're keeping on the sidelines in case, God forbid something like, an FTX happens, right? But now that we've got kind of smoother on and off ramps, and Spritz is a lot, focused on the latter, that is kind of opening up the comfort level to the masses. And that's what we're really, really excited about for this next cycle.
Very cool. Can you talk about some of your investors and early backers?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've got a great group of kind of Web 2 and Web 3 investors, some of whom I've worked with for many, many years, some of which are newer, right? So Aaron Harris is a former YC partner, kind of ran the Series A and FinTech program there at YC. I did YC with my last company. So, he's one of the first checks into Spritz. Also Shilang Tang, who is my last co-founder and then was CIO at Ledger Prime, also one of our earlier investors. But then on the Web3 side, we've got Diogo Monica from Anchorage, got Balaji Srinivasan, of course. We've got people from DCG Genesis, from Shima Capital, and then David Choi from Mena Street, right? So a lot of really just, we've chosen to say, we're a hybrid company that needs to kind of understand real financial rails. And, I bring that from my background and then, from some of these investors. But then also, how do we understand the kind of cutting edge needs of the crypto community and also understand the technologies, right, that we can make that happen? And that's where the Web3 side comes. So yeah, we've been just super excited. And we did launch on Polygon because Sandeep was one of the early supporters of Spritz as well, himself personally. So, and he's actually come back with several investments. So, but we're still going multi-chain. So, yeah, it's been a fantastic journey so far.
Awesome. When I was researching Spritz, I saw Sandeep was like an investor, and I was like, oh, this is very big. I really have to look into what Spritz is doing.
Yeah. I mean, and you see, Polygon has done an amazing job. I mean, the whole time, of course, with the technology. To start with, as a scaling solution, when gas was like, $100 a transaction, right, in the bull market, Polygon was there for regular people to come on board crypto. Then now, even in the bear market now, with the partnerships with the big companies, but also branching out into games, infrastructure, all sorts of other plays. Polygon really is kind of at the cutting edge of innovation. And then back to security and the technology with kind of the zero knowledge proofs and roll-ups and so forth. They're making, kind of strides again. So we're just super happy to have built with them. But of course, with any crypto project today, it's just, you've got to be multi-chain because there are just so many kind of use cases. And I'm sure a lot of your viewers are, probably have assets on 3, 4, 5 chains. There's kind of something for everyone everywhere.
Well, I'm really looking forward to what Spritz is doing and how you guys are developing so quickly. Is there anything else you'd love to mention about yourself, Spritz, or just something you're interested in?
Just, firstly, if you're not in the US, you can't pay bills yet, but we've got the debit card coming out and some other services. So please, come to Spritz.finance and sign up for the app. And we've got a growing wait list for everybody. And you can join the Discord and sort of see the discussion and see how the users are using us, already. But if you are in the US, then you can use us right now. And we've got even promotions running for the holidays now. And these kind of fun games where if you do this, kind of run through this checklist of, pay a bill on Avalanche, do an off-ramp transaction, make a payment to a third party, and then you get entered into these drawings, and it's really, really fun. And we've got some pretty, I would say, aggressive and generous prizes. So, before the end of the year, if you're sitting on some some losses in crypto and you want to harvest those taxes, right, for the end of the year, then off-ramp it for a purpose, right? Send it to your credit card, pay off a bill, and you're going to reduce your taxes at the same time. So yeah, that's what we're trying to promote in the next couple of weeks.
Now, as we discussed during the interview, there are some fees associated when using Spritz Finance, but if you have cryptocurrency sitting on different blockchains and you have to bridge it over or send it through multiple exchanges where maybe you won't get the best price for your coins, then you might end up spending more than what you would have paid in fees. So Spritz Finance is making that easier if you want to get started. It's super simple. There are links in the description, and I am pretty excited to see what they develop in the future. Let me know what you think in the comments. And with that, I hope you got your full value for today.